Now, gentlemen, what you're looking at here is the 2017 NBA draft class. The number one pick that year was Markelle Fultz. The second pick was Lonzo Ball. Coming in at pick number 3, Jason Tatum. And perhaps the best deal in this pick, Donovan Mitchell coming in at number 13. Now, let's compare those looks with the class of 2003. Now, skill-wise, this class is legendary, starting off with LeBron James as the number one pick. Another amazing player, Carmelo Anthony, came in at the third pick. Chris Bosh was picked up with the number 4 pick. Dwayne Wade was picked up 5th. And believe it or not, there were 14 other players in the next 24 picks that would go on to have careers in the NBA of 10 plus years. So what does this have to do with oversized clothing and why this trend should die? Well, gents, if it wasn't obvious, despite the deep talent of that 2003 class, it has to be one of the worst dressed classes ever. Now, I'm not saying those huge oversized suits were wasted. I heard they were all donated to Steve Harvey. But seriously, gents, what was LeBron James thinking? I mean, I admit, this is for show, and he definitely stood out. I mean, he looked angelic here. And of course, every year has the guys that are dressing for the fashion they want to get talked about. But seriously, gents, wearing clothing that's oversized does nothing to complement a man's build. And I know this from experience. You see, I went through high school and college during the 1990s. Now, at the time, I was about 5'9", 145 to 155 pounds when I graduated college. And with that frame, I thought I looked good in large and extra large clothing. Now, to my defense, this was the time of grunge, of flannels. Oversized clothing was the rage. And I was just caught up in a fashion trend at the time. But unfortunately, because of that trend, if you look at any wedding photos from about the year 1994 to 2005, you are unfortunately going to see the sad effects of men wearing oversized clothing that just makes it look like, yeah, they're a little kid trying to fit into their dad or their big brother's suit. And to be clear, this goes well beyond suits. Those loose fits that were pushed from the late 90s to about 2005, 2008, it seeped into everything from shirts to jeans to casual jackets to button-downs. Now, interestingly, I was able to escape the trend in about 1999 when the military tried to drown me. Seriously, I was at Naval Air Station Pensacola, training to be an aviator, which I only made it halfway through before blowing out my sinuses, which is a whole other story. But my point is, anyone that is in the Navy or United States Marine Corps that's going to be on a helicopter or in a jet aircraft, you go through survival training. So what does this have to do with loose clothing? Well, here's the deal, gents. As anyone that flies in an aircraft can tell you, you wear a flight suit. And before you get into that aircraft, whether you're flying, whether you are crew, you make sure that everything on you is tied down. There's nothing loose. There's nothing that could get caught on the moving parts of the aircraft or keep you trapped in the aircraft because it gets snagged. Seriously, most military aviators I know don't even wear their wedding rings out of fear of getting it caught on the aircraft as they're jumping out and ripping off parts of their finger. At least that's the reason they tell their wives. So we've established that loose clothing can be dangerous. And if you're on a job site, yeah, don't wear it. But what about day-to-day wear? Why would you not want to wear loose clothing? Well, first up, loose clothing isn't as comfortable as clothing that fits the body well.
What?
How does that work? Closer fitted clothing is more comfortable? Well, gents, before I reveal why, I want to introduce you to today's sponsor, Crossrope. Well, gents, here's the deal. In 1 hour jumping with Crossrope, you can burn over 1,000 calories. Compare that to 700 calories an hour cycling, 600 calories an hour jogging, 550 calories an hour swimming, or 300 calories an hour walking. The fact is, jumping rope, especially with a weighted rope, you're going to burn 20 to 50% more calories per hour than those other workouts. And as a runner, straight up, I love the fact I can do an exercise which changes up the routine, is challenging yet simple, and I can do right in my own basement. Or if I'm traveling, I can pack my Crossrope and take it with me. Now, gents, over the last couple years, there's been a huge rise in connected and personalized workouts. Well, get this, Crossrope Amp gives you the ability to do this. This is their Bluetooth connected jump rope experience that works right with their app and allows you to be able to interact with others in a group setting. Amp by Crossrope is easy to use. They've got over 2,000 workouts in their library, but you can engage with it. It's really intuitive and a very simple way to be able to have a group workout. In fact, during your workout, you can get real-time feedback. You can see the number of jumps, your calories burned, the intensity, and there's even a leaderboard so you can see how you rank against others. Amp by Crossrope is a fraction of the cost of those other connected fitness experiences. And in case you're not familiar with Crossrope, it comes with a variety of different weighted ropes. So you can go with a lighter weight, you can go with a medium weight, you can go with a heavier weight rope for a more intense workout. And if you have really limited space, check out their ropeless options. This is for those of you guys that have low ceilings or just simply don't want to make a lot of noise. That being said, gents, you can also grab the Crossrope Classic, which doesn't have the Bluetooth connection and is just simply a weighted rope, which I can tell you from experience is an amazing tool if you want to be able to get a quick cardio exercise in anywhere. So gents, to get the best deal on the web, I'm going to put the link in the description along with the discount code so you can get the best deal on the web when you go over to Crossroad. So how is it that closer fitted clothing cut to the form of the body is more comfortable than loose clothing that gives you tons of extra room? Because let's face it, to most people, this sounds counterintuitive. Well, I'll be honest, gents, that was my belief until I got my first custom suit. The year was 1998, and I was being fitted at the Marine Shop. Yeah, go back to my Marine Corps stories. But if you know about the Marine Shop in Quantico, Virginia, this is the higher end officer store. And they actually cut, it's not fully bespoke, but they are custom. And the armholes on those jackets are really high. Now that saying is interesting because imagine putting on a glove that doesn't fit, one that maybe is too small or at least in the fingers only goes halfway down. As you can imagine, with a glove like that, you're going to have what look like webbed fingers, and you're not going to have much freedom of movement of the fingers themselves. Simply put, that glove, which looks like a halfway mitten, is actually restricting the movement of your fingers because it's not going all the way down and isn't giving the fingers the full freedom of movement at their joints. The same thing holds true for shirts, for jackets, for trousers that are way too large, are way too loose. Specifically, a jacket whose armholes are way too large. From an outside viewpoint, someone that hasn't tried the jacket on, it looks like it's going to be more comfortable. However, when someone puts on a large, oversized jacket like this and they raise their arms up, what do you find? The whole jacket itself is lifted because the arms themselves are constricted by the clothing and therefore don't have much freedom to move. For anyone that's ever owned a well-fitted custom or bespoke jacket and then tried wearing something that was off the rack at maybe a department store, you know what I'm talking about. Now, this also applies to trousers. If the crotch is cut too large, there's too much room down there. A lot of you guys say, I know, I need the room. All right, Peter North, I know you're packing down there, but you still want to make sure that you've got a crotch that fits snugly. Therefore, it's going to allow your legs to move around. But seriously, this is why jeans are so comfortable, because in general, they've got a tighter fit around the crotch area. Therefore, they give your legs more freedom of movement. Now, of course, you want balance here. You don't want to wear anything that's overly tight. But I find a lot of guys that are coming from super loose clothing, it's not uncomfortable, it's just unfamiliar when the clothing fits them a little bit closer. So my advice here is to go shopping with somebody you trust who can give you a second opinion. Don't be afraid to take the clothing home, try it on, wear it a couple times, and if it really doesn't work for you, if you've just worn it around the house, then yeah, you can take it back. But the reality is when you stop wearing oversized clothing and you wear clothing that fits you, another interesting thing happens. Now, growing up in Midland, Texas, I was surrounded by guys that wore Wrangler jeans. This was also the 1990s, so they loved wearing these starched cotton shirts. I think Garth Brooks at the time made it super popular to go with these bold colors and things like that. And I definitely think the colors and the patterns on those shirts, it's dated. But the fit, the silhouette of most Western clothing over the last 50 years hasn't changed too much. Even though Western idea of loose clothing isn't that loose. Why? Because for most men that are wearing this type of clothing, it also needs to be a bit functional. A lot of these guys, especially the guys I knew growing up, they had horses, they had cattle, they were around animals, and they needed clothing that was functional, and they sort of wanted it to look good too. I'm bringing this up because again, it's reinforcing that loose clothing can be dangerous. That's why most Western clothing is going to fit very close because it has to be functional. But let's also talk about how this clothing makes a man look, especially if you take care of your body. Now, I remember this meme before it was a meme. It was actually a bumper sticker that was popular with a lot of the girls in my high school. It was basically this saying that cowboy butts drive me nuts. Now, I personally think it depends on the cowboy, and since I wasn't really wearing Wranglers, I didn't even feel I was in consideration here. But my point is this: a man that wears clothing that fits him well and is in pretty good shape, guess what? You are going to get complimented. You're going to have people that notice you. And here's the deal. You don't have to have the body of Adonis to make this work. You just simply need to be in decent shape to be, get objectified. Whatever. My point is, gents, when you wear clothing that fits your body, if you've got a decent body, you'll be able to show this off. People will look at you as someone that's healthy, someone they want to partner with, perhaps romantically, but sometimes just in business. I mean, I don't know about you, but I usually want to partner with somebody that looks healthy, that looks like they're going to be around. And this isn't something I maybe am purposely thinking about, but subconsciously, it is something that's probably going through my mind. With oversized clothing, first up, I'm thinking this person has no fashion sense. But after that, I'm like, what is this person trying to hide? Why are they wearing clothing that I can't even make out their profile? Now, this next issue is really practical, and I think it applies to any guy out there that wants to build a wardrobe that he's going to be able to use and not be out there wasting money. I mean, seriously, which of you guys out there want to light money on fire? If that's you, my mailing address is down in the description of the video, and you can just send it to me. Straight up, gents, I want you to be able to build an affordable, interchangeable wardrobe that you're going to be able to get miles out of, and you're going to be able to use 5 years from now, 10 years from now, in a year. It's still, it's just going to work with you because it's built to your body. When you fall into these oversized trends, the trend that's happening right now, and I will admit it's difficult to avoid. The reality is this trend is just starting, and we're going to see a lot of brands start to make all of their jeans, all their shirts just a little bit larger. So you're going to have to look for clothing that is fitting you a bit better, maybe even change brands. I know a lot of you guys hate doing this, but the big reason I want you to continue to wear clothing that fits your body, that complements your build, is you're going to save money in the long run. Because going back to that class of 2003, I know those guys have tons of money, or at least most of them before they went bankrupt. But those of them that are still multimillionaires, maybe even like LeBron, a billionaire, do they like wasting money? Probably not. Are they still able to wear that suit? No, there's maybe like 1 or 2 guys in that entire picture that having a suit that actually is going to be timeless. Compare that to the 2018 photo. Yes, I know, ignore the shorts. Who do you think in this photo actually has a timeless look? I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments. Let's bring up the 2017 image as well. So looking at this image right here, guys, let me know in the comments below who has a look that you guys think in the next 10 years, this is still going to be in style. It's going to still work. And to make this fun, I've got some challenge coins I'll be sending out to those of you guys that participate down in the comments. Maybe leave some great feedback. Yeah, let me know who got the fit right. Maybe let me know what I missed in today's video, why you think men should not wear oversized clothing. And with that being said, gents, if you're ready for your next video, boom, I got you covered right here. Check it out. Oh yeah. This video right here is going to blow your mind. Okay, maybe not, but it's a good video. And you want to, come on, click right here. Go check it out. Solid video, gents. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.